Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 7 of the LMU season 2 happening here in IRC. This is me, Deepak Raj, in live action from circuit of Interlagos, and we are already on with our quali session. It has just started. We have a 20 minutes quali, and the weather forecast looks simple, but I can guarantee the race is not going to be anything but simple. Interlagos, as it is a tricky circuit, but this week the coordinators have decided that that's not difficult enough, and we're gonna have most likely a wet transition race. So gonna be interesting watch for sure. So let's hang on and see what kind of entertainment we are up for today. So I guess the drivers have started their outlaps, so let's head on and see what kind of laps they're able to put on. We are on board Aradhya Gupta, who is driving his Corvette, and has been having quite a bit of a up and down kind of a race, not getting a lot of good results, but he's definitely hoping to correct that well. And you can see his second times are coming in, but obviously this is the very first flyer, which means that the tires will not be up to temps yet. These tires need at least 2 laps before they get into any kind of a competitive shape. So it is understandable that right now the temp times are not in a very great shape, but like I said, it's going to take a lap or two and we'll be seeing a lot more competitive times then. But as we ride on board, Aradhya Gupta sets the purple second, and we are on to the final straight. And personally, this circuit is really different to drive in these GT3 cars, because I'm pretty sure most of us have driven this circuit in F1 with cars which have like super high downforce, a lot of horsepower and everything. So the car just sticks to the ground, you flick left, flick right, and you go through. But in these cars, let me tell you, it's another challenge altogether. It literally is all about manipulating the weight of the car. You're literally throwing around a car that's weighing a ton and does not have the same level of downforce. It definitely is a very weird feeling to drive these cars on a circuit like this. It's definitely something that can't be put to words. And well, from what I was saying, you might think that the circuit is difficult to drive, but that's the most interesting part. The circuit is still somehow fun to drive in these, even with all the conditions that I had described. So yeah, definitely a great circuit. Has a lot of stories, has a lot of intense championship battles being decided here, has a lot of infamous moments. So yeah, it will be interesting to see if there are any more such moments happening in our league race here as well. So conditions are looking right for that, but let's stay tuned and see what kind of curveballs are being thrown away. For one, we do know that the race is going to be a mixed weather session, and while we know it's a mixed weather session, we don't know when it's going to hit. So that's going to be an interesting factor as always. So let's wait and watch. The lap times are slowly coming down. It went from 38 to 36 now. So yeah, the tires are slowly coming up to the window, and we do see some proper representative laps coming in at this point. So Gaurav has gone pole position, 36.5. So yeah, so we are just into 5 minutes into a 20 minutes quali session. So by now, all the drivers should have had the tires in the good window, and we are starting to see some good times coming on board. Now we see Hardik Pari has gone provisional pole with a 136.0.5. So it does look like 35s are on the table, because this is just the very first proper hot lap and they're already on 36. And we see these two guys fighting it out in one of the quali session. They think it's a race session or something. So Akbar Kumar and Ritesh Singh have this squabbling for track position. And I think, I mean, Akbar Kumar might not be so happy about it, but as long as Ritesh is on a valid hot lap, it's just an unfortunate thing. Akbar has to back out of this one and space himself out for another lap. Go on board with Gaurav Arora, who is setting another purple sector. So he's definitely on a roll. In last race, he, by his own words, he didn't respect the car. The car literally chewed him out. He had a very poor race, but still then his pace was really good. So he'll definitely be looking to correct those wrongcomings and try to make the most out of this race. And yeah, his quali pace is definitely looking like a top contender right now. So it's a purple first, the purple second, although it's not with him. I believe it belongs to Karnak, I'm not sure. Let's see what kind of lap he puts in. He puts a 36.006. That's very fine margins between him and Hardik Pari. It's 0.050. That's very fine margins. And obviously there's still a lot more time to improve, so he'll definitely be going for multiple laps after this. Go on, but Hardik Pari, let's right on board him. Only go through turn 3 flat, but you're gonna have to work the wheel a little bit more if you're used to F1. And on to the straight we go, and we head down to turn 4. Goes on the brake before the escape road, goes second gear, clips the apex, runs wide, and gets a good line through here. On through turn 5, approaching turn 6, and we have a very first 35. And Kanak Satam comes out with a 35.084, which is almost a second faster than whatever these guys have put up. So yeah, Kanak is once again back to setting a fiery pace up front. He is being the pace setter. And yeah, going on board with Moto through the infield section, one of the most trickiest sections through. Obviously, having an ABS makes things a lot more easier, but still you need to hook up those traction zones. It's very easy to lose your car through here. Considering it's a low speed, you're gonna have to put on a lot of throttle, and the car just wants to throw itself out. Onwards through the final section. Again, one of those things which are like super easy on like a Formula 1 car or a hyper car, a car with high downforce, but these cars, it's gonna be a bit of a challenge. The car just wants to understeer and wash out wide. You're gonna have to take a good line, and he hooks the inside line up and on to the start finish line. Where does this put him? And he puts him in provisional pole with 34.9. That's a brilliant lap. Right on board with Kanak Satam, who also has a purple sector 1 and looks to be on course to snatch that provisional pole away from Hardik Pari. But by how much is the question? Let's wait and watch as he rounds out the last few meters, goes over the line and goes even faster, 34.5. He is not dealing in small gaps. He's straight up throwing 3 10s, 4 10s out in front, and he once again takes a pole position back from Hardik Pari. So yeah, this is looking pretty ominous for the others who are in the fight for pole. Go on board Jay Kumar Patel, who is also on his quali lap. Rounds out the final section. Jay Kumar Patel has also not been having the best run of races. Seems to be having good pace, but just not clicking in races for whatever reason, and it's just not happening for him. But obviously he has to hoping that it goes better, and let's see what time he puts. He goes across the line, and that puts him up to P5. So he'll definitely be looking to improve more on that. I think most probably that was his first or second flyer, so obviously the tires need some time to get up to temp, so most likely he might be able to improve a little bit more going forward. Who is improving on the other hand though is Kanak Satam, who has set a purple second sector and is looking to maximize the margin that he has over Hardik Pari even more. The current margin stands at 0.354, but let's see where this puts Koushik in as he rounds out the last corner, goes to the final stretch, and he stretches out his lead by 1/10. So yeah, now it's almost 4/10. Yeah. The pole contender Hardik Pari, who is trying his best to get that pole lap back from Koushik, who has been having a bit of a steamroll run through the season with not a lot of competition going through. And I believe this is Hardik's first hot lap on the new set of slicks that he has put on in the second run. So obviously it will take a while for it to warm up, so we'll wait and watch what kind of sectors he's able to hook up once the tires are up to temps. We also have Priyansh Oban in third position and Gaurav Arora in fourth. So good showing from Gaurav Arora and especially Priyansh Oban, who has started this game quite, not that experienced, but has definitely got the pace, and he's showing that with E3, which is 1.1 of Koushik. I think that just shows what kind of pace dominance that Koushik has. Koushik and that car are working in unison in very good fashion, and yeah, he's having pole by more than half a tenth. This is quite interesting to say. It's a GT3 split. But Samik Sen, who had set two personal best sectors, but unfortunately going a little wide on that grass, not really helping his case, will definitely not be the best lap. A very interesting livery though, got to say. Black and some kind of embossing going on. I'm not sure what that is, but it's a very interesting livery to say the least. And yeah, definitely that last corner hurt his chances a lot there. Couldn't improve, still stays in P21. Going up front, let's go on board. Well, there's a lot of improvements going on at this point. Let's see. Hardik Pari not having the best of first sectors, plus 4/10 of the target pole time. But the Porsche is a very good car when it comes to handling its corners, so it could have a very good advantage over the infield. Let's see what kind of sector he puts at the end of the second sector line. It's not that great, so obviously he needs to go around one more and do it properly, it looks like. Meanwhile, up ahead, Koushik is once again looking to be going faster as much as he could, and he is also on his hot lap runs. So, well, I'm not sure who's going to be able to put up a challenge, because right now Hardik Pari looks to be the closest one, but this lap was not it. It's just not there. So let's see what kind of lap Hardik can put up. Okay, that's interesting. He puts a personal best first sector, which is still good, so maybe the pole fight is on. But do not forget, Koushik is also out on a lap, and we've got 5 minutes remaining in the session, so Koushik might have a very good track at the end of it. But let's see what kind of infield section is Moto able to conjure up. Let's ride on board. Let's see what kind of he goes to the infield. Very smooth steering, not jittery, not harsh, just smooth and flowing, which is exactly what the Porsche needs. And exiting through the sensitive traction zone and going downhill all the way to the penultimate corner. I believe the sector line should be somewhere around here, and well, it's not so great, but it's not so bad either. Plus 1.6. It's not plus 0.16. It's not too bad, and it's all down to the run to the line. And let's see how close he can get to that pole position lap that Kanak had set as it goes across the line. Oh, that's close, but still not enough. Well, never mind. I think I read the lap time wrong. It's 35.2, so he definitely needs a lot more improvement going on. Interesting. Right on board Kanak Satam, who seems to have invalidated that lap. So the sector time graphics has not updated yet. So yeah, I guess he's about to start his proper hot lap coming up now. So go on board the other Corvette of Aditya Vanmali, who's also been having a bit of a top speed of his season, some good pace here and there, but then some really bad incidents also not helping his cause. Right now he's riding at P12 and he seems to be setting some really good sectors. Let's see where this moves him up. As he comes across the line, he moves up to P7, which is really not bad in a circuit like this. And obviously there's still 2.5 minutes left, so there's still time for them to improve and go on. Speaking of time to improve, Hardik has gone back into the pits, so the chances of him coming out and challenging for pole, it's a very tall order considering the time that it needs for the task warm up, but still it could be something to look out for. Oh, and the Corvette has a movement through there, which is exactly what Kanak and a few others who've been driving the Corvette have been saying. The car is fast when it is in its day, but it does bite you back really hard. You need to be on top of it at all times, and we just saw that happening there. The car just slipping out underneath that very loaded turn 5, where the car is going to be extremely loaded onto the outside tires, and all it needs is a slight rough reaction and the car is just going to kick you out underneath. So I don't think that lap is going to be effective. As you can see, the sector time has fallen off. It has fallen off all the way. So yeah, that's going to be something the drivers are going to be paying close attention to. But going on board with Kanak, it does look like his competition for pole has died down. It looks like they've settled down in their garages and Kanak is just driving around and trying to see what he can do, most likely just getting some more laps on under his belt. So yeah, it's pretty much looks like a done deal. So Priyan Choban has also returned to the garage. Let's go on to Jigmar Patil, who is starting his final hot lap by the look of things. And that's a personal best first sector, so this is he could put himself up. If he could hook this lap up, he could move himself up to the second row maybe, which could be a very good advantage in a circuit like this. So let's see how he can hook up the infield section as he launches turn 6, my bad. There's the infield section and approaches the penultimate corner, and not a great sector compared to the pole lap, but oh, I think I might have I think that's a case of commentators, because it's just about to say the sector might be somewhat decent enough, but well, that sends him back to the garage. So yeah, it looks like the quali battle is all set, but Kanak looks to be going still strong, but never mind, he has also called it quits. I think I did see some purple sectors flashing up against his name, but I guess he is also stopped going for now. So we have a few more drivers finishing their hot laps. So let's see where can Banath put himself up. By the look of the first sector, I don't think it's going to be an improvement, but if he can improve anywhere in the second or third sectors, maybe he can push himself up a little bit up the grid, which is not too far. It's very small gaps between 9 to 6, so maybe he could push himself up if he could hook this through. As we see the end of second sector, it's plus 2.5 compared to the pole. Goes a little bit wide. I don't think that's going to help his cause. Just a little bit of the grass. It's not good to touch grass, guys. And rounds off the final corner and full throttle blast onto the straight. And well, guess what? He just decided that he's going to practice his pit entry at this point, which is also a very important thing if you could see the pit entry, because it snakes through and you need to be staying within the white lines at all times, else you do incur the track mile penalties through. So yeah, that's the end of the quali session altogether. So once again, a very dominant performance from Kanak, keeping that pole position by 5/10. That's just insane.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
So we are counting down for the formation lap start. We're 40 seconds away from the start of this formation lap, and we seem to have I believe we had 21 cars participating today. Considering this is a DLC circuit, dip in attendance was somewhat expected, but keeping all of that aside, still we do have an interesting race on our hands, and we just saw the drivers taking their own time getting back onto the grid, because obviously having a wet weather transition in between throws another factor of strategic jeopardy in the mix. So obviously they want to make sure that everything is sorted and clear, just waiting for the countdown to go and the formation lap to start.
Lap has started.
Yep, and there we go. Formation lap is a go. And the drivers are going to be having to drive side by side, 2x2 formation, no weaving, no erratic movements. You can just see the drivers holding on to the brakes just to make sure that they get some temps onto the tires. So yeah, they're just going to have to stick onto the green zone. That could also affect them. And I'm not sure if you're reading this right, but looks like Abzan has started with the wet tires. I'm not sure if it's a graphical issue or he's just seeing something much further ahead of us, but we'll see that sometime later. But we are onto the line. We're just a few hundred meters away from the green flag, and it could be any moment now. Let's see who reacts fast for this.
Green flag, green flag.
We are green and we are go to race in Interlagos. Kanak has got a good jump. Moto cuts across, but the Corvette of Gaurav Varara has gotten on the inside. There's some argy-bargy going on into turn 1, and there's some minor contact, but Hardik Pari wins that fight between Gaurav Varara and holds on to the second place. But onto the back straight, this is where the Corvette can be able to stretch its legs. Moto instantly goes defensive, covers the inside line of and Gaurav Varara goes around the outside, trying to get his way through, but these guys are just not letting it through. There's no love lost. They're trading paint, blue and yellow, getting swapped around. And Hardik holds on to the place, and you see a spinning Aston Martin in the rear. I wonder what happened there, but these two guys are still going at it. And it looks to have settled down a bit, but Kaurav looks very lazy. He's looking down on the inside. He's trying to intimidate Hardik Pari, but Hardik Pari is not new to this. He's not new to the rodeo. He knows how to fight, and he holds on to that P2. Interesting opening lap for these two guys, but I think behind there was some contacts. I think that was, I believe that was the Aston Martin of Sandeep Maridu, who's once again lost out to some incidents. We'll definitely have a look at the replay later on. Looking behind, we have a train of these cars. I think Kanak has once again pulled off to the front like he always does. And looks like when Hardik Pari has put a bit of daylight between himself and Kanak. No, we see a contact between Jaikumar Patil, and I believe that's Priyansh Uban, who's sent off the circuit. I don't think Priyansh will be very happy with it. And James Tobin capitalizes in all this chaos and is about to take one more place away from Jay Patil, who seems to be fighting it as much as he could, but he's just gonna have to settle behind on this one. Patil is peeking down the inside. Is he going to send one? He does. He sends one on the inside, and James Tobin decides to back out of it, and Jaikumar Patil reclaims that position. This means that Aditya Varnali is now that much closer to James Robin. And we did see Corvette has a very good straight line run on throughout, so he could be able get one, but I don't think he's going to get it with that kind of a line. It's wide, and that doesn't help his cause. Right, and going up front, Kanak has stretched his lead to 1 second, and yeah, he's just trying to get away from this pack as much as he could, build a good buffer before that weather hits. And Hardik Pari is once again falling into the clutches of Gaurav Arora, who is unrelenting in his pressure. He's closing up, but just not able to make his way past that Porsche of Hardik Pari, who seems to be making it as wide as he could whenever Gaurav is trying to launch an attack. Behind, once again, the pack cluster settled down a bit. They are running in a single file formation. Not a lot of swaps going around. Interestingly, as I predicted, Afzan is still running on the wet tires. I'm not sure how the gamble is playing out, because right now, looking at the weather conditions out, it's sunny outside, and those tires are not going to be loving it, I can say for a fact. And behind, we have Priyansh Uban trying to make his way past Nahid Pahuja after that little contact with Jaikumar Patil. He's definitely going to be very frustrated and angry, but he's going to have to calm himself down and focus on what's up front. And we do have overtake here between Arav Shakunt and Ritesh Singh. Ritesh Singh has made the pass on Arav Shakunt on the final stretch. So we have Gaurav Arora with the fastest lap now. So he is saying, I just need to get in front of Hardik and I can get on board with Kanak. He definitely seems to have the pace to do that, but just stuck behind the Porsche right now. And you see Afzan's wet tires are struggling. They're crying for help. They're not having any kind of grip. He's literally past left, right and center. We have two cars trying to make past him. Priyansh Uban just went on the outside, and SM Sufi is trying to make it down the inside. But Afzan says, no thank you, I'm going to take it down the inside, dives down. But he runs wide and he eventually loses 2 positions. But Afzan is not looking to give this up without a fight, but eventually he has to settle because he just doesn't have the tires for that. And you see ABD sending it from far, making use of this chaos that's going up front. And he does know that this Afzan is running wet tires, so he makes the most out of that. Yeah, he is falling down like a stone. His tires are not really helping him. Shiv Kiran is driving circles around that Porsche. He's just like a lap traffic right now. So yeah, it's really not looking good for Afzan at this point. So Samik Sen going around the outside. It's a very treacherous part of the circuit, but he can just take grip differential. Like driving on the outside is not a very easy task in these cars, but Afzan is once again just not giving it up. He's trying his level best, but I believe he's fighting an uphill battle, literally an uphill battle through there, and he just has to switch to slicks or just hang on to the paint. But the point is, by the time rain comes in, will those wet tires have any kind of tread left on them? Because by the look of things, it's not going to be anything. It's going to become semi-slicks by the end of this stint, I feel. See Nick Phoenix looking down the inside, and yeah, just move this time around, but you just see the grip differential. The cars are just driving easy just driving around, driving inside, driving outside, making moves as much possible. And yeah, Afzan looks to be losing one more position out here. And Hussein is also in on this action. He's on the outside into turn 4. And drives around the outside, but gets pushed to the edge of the track limits. But then again, the wet tires not able to put up much of a fight. But Afzan is trying his best, doing whatever he can. But I believe he just has to give up at this point and save himself some of the trouble. Yeah. Moving up front. But never mind, you can see a move happening once again around the outside. Not a very easy move to do if on level grip, but this is the kind of thing that happens when you're on the wrong tires and the guy on the right tires. Moving up front, Hardik Pari has cut down the gap to IRC to a half a second. So it looks like these guys are putting the fuel saving out of the run, and I did see the wipers are going off. So I believe the rain has started. So maybe is Afzan's gamble going to start paying off, because well, it's just starting to rain. So eventually the conditions are going to get as sketchy as it goes through. So let's see what kind of conditions are going on. There's like minor spots of rain. The wipers are running. So I believe the conditions will get worse at any point right now. Yep, they're still under overcast conditions, but well, going to have rain in the next it's like 12 minutes. So it's going to be a long transition, I feel like, and I think we saw an example of this in Portimao as well. The drivers will adjust the transition perfectly, were able to jump a lot of positions. So let's see who plays the strategic blinder and who is going to lose out at the end of this transition period. Going on, let's have a look at the replay, what happened at the start. Let's see if we can make any sense of whatever happened there. That is Sandeep Meridu and the Corvette. I'm not sure who the other Corvette was, but a not so harsh side-by-side contact, but that is enough to throw him off. Definitely feeling unfortunate, feeling bad for Sandeep, because he somehow ends up in a minefield by his own words. So yeah, he's not going to be happy, and he'll definitely be looking to somehow recover. But considering that there is a transition coming in, so he could play his cards right and get some positions on. This was the incident between Jaykumar Patil and Priyansh Uban. Let's see what just happened onto the penultimate corner, and looks like Jaykumar Patil had just misjudged his brake marker, goes straight into Priyansh, and yeah, that's that. Putting a nose through there, side by side, and gets it moved, and a good move by ABD, but obviously was listening quite a lot through there. But at the end of the day, still a good move to be put off in such a corner. Alright, we are back to life, and it looks a lot more gloomier than what it was. And I believe you had a yellow flag. Let's have a look what just happened. And he just loses the car through. I believe the conditions are getting trickier as the seconds pass through. Thankfully he keeps it off the wall, gets away with with minimal damage, so he'll be thankful for that. I believe we have another yellow flag right now with Nahid Pahuja. I wonder what happened through here. 4 cars fighting it through in tricky conditions. This side, oh, that was interesting. Not sure what happened, but probably some kind of issue going on. Back to live. Oh, sorry for that. We are back with the lead battle. Hardik Pari has closed down so much on Koushik that he is right on his back. He's applying a lot of pressure, but again, with the track deteriorating, it's a very tricky one. I think Koushik is playing it safe, and Hardik is throwing caution to the wind because this is his opportunity to make his way through. So you ride on board. You can see the spots of rain much more prominent now. So yeah, timing of this is going to be very crucial. So Koushik is driving off the line, and as you guys might be aware, the game has a very good wet line implementation. So the longer you stay on the racing line, it becomes even more slippery, so you're going to have to be inventive with your lines. I believe that is causing the time loss to Koushik. But we do see how Hardik car is snaking through there. The car is just not having enough grip as the rain is slowly intensifying. Oh, bit of a slide catches on. So does Koushik. Both are tiptoeing their way around, and yeah, these are treacherous conditions to be driving on slicks. Apologies for that. Let's go back on board. As it goes wide, the car is just not complying with what they want to do, so it's not helping. And speaking of gambles playing off, Afzan was in the wets. He's jumped out to P4, P5. Obviously, all the others are pitted for a set of wets. But importantly, Gaurav Arora has got a DT. So I believe he must have had some kind of a pit lane incident, speeding in the pit lane or something. So yeah, his race is not going to be doing so well. But yeah, so Afzan has got a few positions, but how much tire life he lost in that few dry laps earlier is going to be something we're going to have to watch out for. See, these guys are still driving out on their slick tires. So it's Koushik, Hardik Pari and Sandeep Maridu hanging out on the slicks. And I believe they are coming into the pits right now. The conditions are getting not so favorable for the slick tires anymore. See right on board Sandeep Maridu, who is the last slick runner on the field. I believe there are a few more. But yeah, as you can see, he's just very, very tentative with the throttle, feathering it through and coming across the final corner to finish his pit stop. Going back to the land of wet tires, you have Azim Banatwala piling the pressure on Aditya Vanmali, who seems to be slightly struggling, and Azim sends one down the inside. It's a very good move, and he goes alongside, and Aditya Vanmali has to back out. I'm not sure if it's a differential in terms of the tires getting warmed up or whatever it is, but Banat made it look so easy to just send it inside, and the car had no defense on the outside. A brilliant move puts him up to P8. Going up ahead, I think Hardik Pari had also had a drive-through, so these guys are self-imploding at this point. So the challengers to Koushik are just shooting in the foot by the look of things. He's got another DT, which means that he is going to be so far off the competition. And out of all of these things, Afzan seems to have pulled a strategic blinder by the look of things, at least by now, because he is 7.4 seconds ahead of Koushik. So yeah, I believe he's got good things to play, and I think he's going to have to stretch it out a bit. But remember, he has to stop again because the fuel situation might be a bit different. There is one pit stop that is put up, so he's gonna have to play his cards carefully. But so far seems to have got it under control, although his gap is slowly going down. Right now the gap is at 6.8, so yeah, it's he's got a huge task up ahead, but at least he has put himself in a good position with that early strategy call. On board, I think that was Sandeep Maridu going off circuit. rejoining back, and I think he lost a position to Shiv Kiran. So he has Abid Hussain hot on his tracks. So I believe he's just got out of the pit lane, so the wet tires do need some time to get up to attempts to perform optimally, and I believe that's what's happening. Up here, Jaykumar Patil has lost his car. I wonder what happened, and he has lost out in the second sector. So the yellow flags are pretty, and we see Azim Banatwala also going off circuit. I'm not sure if the rain has intensified or whatever, but seems like the car is struggling through that infield section exit. Sipian Shoban has stayed ahead of Azim Banatwala, and yeah, he's lost to P7. And now Aradhya Gupta is piling the pressure with Azim, and yeah, you can just see the difference in lines the drivers have to take right now. It's like the normal lines does not work anymore. The racing line is full of rubber and it's extremely slippery at this point, so drivers are going to have to get creative with what lines they can take and what lines will work. I believe that's going to be the differentiating factor at this point. Through turn 4, Azim goes a little wider. That invites Aradhya Gupta, who's flashing his lights, letting him know that he's right there. These guys are going side by side into one of the fastest corners through the circuit. On to turn 6, Azim stays ahead by bare minimum margins, but that's enough to keep him ahead for now. But Aradhya just doesn't seem to be letting it up. He is right on the tail and applying as much pressure as he could. On to the infield section we go, and still going side by side into this here. These guys are still not giving it up yet. Aradhya is trying to drive around the outside in this very low speed corner, but he cannot do that. He'll look for a switchback trajectory. Once again, the wet traction just not happening right now, but he's throwing everything he can, throwing odd shapes and lines to throw Azim Banatwala off. And he now has the inside line. Azim jinks a little to cover the inside, and that's enough to discourage Aradhya, but he's going to have a much better run through because of the line, but he has a slight over correction there. It could impact his run, but it does look like he's got a good run on with the slipstream onto the final straight, so he can get this move if he times this perfect. The Mercedes gets bigger and bigger, and Azim goes to the inside. Aradhya breaks on the outside, goes a little too out, but I believe he just keeps it onto the circuit. But Azim has to just stick to the inside, and he's blocking it, he's defending it for his life. But yeah, it's just playing into the hands of Aradhya Gupta. This is quite an intense battle between these two. Azim goes to the inside, defensive covering off the line, and Aradhya has the racing line. Really will drive down the outside onto turn 4. Azim keeps ahead. Is Aradhya going to do a switchback? No, but he goes wide even more. This battle is not looking like it's going to settle anytime soon. On to turn 6. Once again, you can see the difference, and Aradhya just goes straight off the circuit, takes a whole new line altogether, and loses more time to Azim Banatwala. So yeah, he's trying whatever he can, and it's really is. I can literally hear what he could be saying at this point. He is a very loud character, and he's definitely gonna be saying a lot of things. And you can just see the way he's driving the car; it's just sliding out underneath. So yeah, interesting battle to say the least. Moving in up ahead, I believe Afzan has been passed by Kanak Satam and Hardik Pari. Hardik is coming in to serve his drive-through, so he's going to be dropping down much further. And we're on board Jaykumar Patil, who's being pursued by James Robin, who is also making a good result out of this. Qualified a little lower, but is having a very good race right now. He's in P5, and he's looking to be moving up to P4 as it stands. P4 is Jaykumar Patil, and he seems to be having a good measure of pace at this point at least. To the fast and flat turn 3. On we go, gets a good slipstream, but Jaykumar Patil seems to have that exit covered, so he will stay ahead. But James Robin is just putting himself in the mirrors, just saying, "Hey, I'm here." And I believe that has almost worked. Jaykumar Patil goes a bit wide, and James also follows him a little bit, couldn't exactly capitalize on that, but you can see the pressure in play, which is paying dividends. So he's just gonna have to keep putting that pressure on, and eventually that move will happen. But looks like everyone is struggling in these conditions. Up ahead, Afzan, who started on the wet tires, running in P2 right now. But his virtual energy does look a little on the lower side, so he will have to pit anytime shortly. But I believe he's going to stretch it out as much as he could so that he could extend the advantage. And behind we see James Robin and Jake Patel going side by side. And this, you can literally hear the contacts, the cars are just robbing. There's just no way past. The car is just parked in the apex, and James Robin can just push the car around but can't do much. On board with Jake Patel, you can see the speed difference and the tire difference that is there. He's breezing through on Afzan. Afzan has to just back out and give this way to Jake Patel. Up next is James Robin, who is going to be right on his tail. And once again, Afzan's downwards trajectory is continuing, but he'll definitely be trying to reduce it as much as he can and move up some places, because remember, he started somewhere back in the grid. So anywhere in the top 10, he would still be treating that as a win. So far, it looks to be going good, but he's caught a whole lot of pain. There's a lot of cars coming behind. So the sooner he gets into the pits and switches, it will be the better for him, I feel. But onto the circuit, we have Abid Hussain and Nick Phoenix going side by side into turn 3. And I believe that's inviting Shiv Kiran into the mix as well. It's a 3-car battle, and Shiv Kiran goes a little onto the curbs, and Nick Phoenix has made his way past Abid Hussain. Oh, this battle is still not over yet, going side by side, and I believe that Nick Phoenix has made a mistake, goes on into turn 4 onto the curbs, and that invites both of these guys to take their place back. Shiv Kiran looking a lot more racier, seeming to be able to take a lot more tighter lines through, but just not able to capitalize on it at this point. So yeah, these guys seem to be stuck in a train at this point with Hussain at the lead of it. So how long is this going to last? Oh, Shiv Kiran goes sideways, the car was sliding around. Good save. Could easily put it into the wall, but he did well to hold on to that McLaren, just sliding off his control and sliding off fast. Onboard with Afzan, who's lost one more position. Hardik Pari had passed him after serving his drive-through, so now he's at P4, chasing after James Robin, who's running in P3. So interesting positions for them. Sandeep Marado making his way past Ritesh Singh on the final corner. Ritesh is sending it around the outside. That's some extreme confidence to do that in a wet session. And Sandeep just holds on to the inside, blocks the apex, and Ritesh has to just back off and hold on for there. But that was a valiant attempt, not to say the least. I mean, when it dries, it's a bit of a tricky one, but in the wets, it's altogether a different ball game. So that was a valiant effort, got to say. It looks like Moto has made his way past James Robin, yeah, he's running in P3 right now, and he's going on a chase after Jay Patil. Looks like something has happened to Gaurav Varra, I'm not sure. Let's see what has happened. I believe that's Nick Phoenix getting into contact with Gaurav Varra and sending him off into, I believe that is turn 4. So yeah, his race is just not going according to his plan. This was some more Hardik Pari made on James Robin, I believe we're on board turn 6. And oh, that's a very sketchy place to be going alongside, but Moto makes it looks very easy. James Robin going out wide, and Hardik Pai just says thank you very much and moves across. Meanwhile, the midfield melee still continues. We're on board with, I believe that's Ritesh Singh and that's Samik Sen. So these two guys are battling over P10 and P11. And there's a lot of position swaps happening. I believe Afzan has decided that it's time to box. And his little excursion and a strategic gamble comes to an end. And he is exiting, I believe, at around P17. So, yeah, I think it was a short-term gain, but unfortunately we don't have any safety cars or anything to solidify that little gain that he get. So, back he goes to P18 at the point. But, yeah, a valiant attempt, a good attempt, but just didn't pan out at this time. Oh, and we go on board Hardik Pari, who is fighting with Jaikumar Patil or P2, and he's driving around the outside on the penultimate corner, I believe. He takes P2. There was quite a bit of argy-bargy going through, but he overwhelms that position and gets P2. While all this is happening, Kanak has run away and is comfortably 20 seconds out in front. Right now the gap has gone down to 18, but yeah, he's comfortably cruising at around 20 seconds. He can afford to lose some more time, and conditions like this, that is an absolute luxury to have, because a mistake is very easy to do. You can always lose your position, you can always lose your car, like Moto is demonstrating on the screen right now. The car is just sliding all around. So it's always nice to have such a good buffer. It's a luxurious buffer that Kanak has got for themselves. Only one who can ruin the race is himself, and maybe some blue flag traffic or whatever, but hopefully the guys are acting according to their senses and we don't have any such incidents. Let's have a look at that overtake. Infield section, sends a dive down the inside. Jaikumar Patil leaves enough space and going side by side onto the downhill corners. Some good door-to-door wheel banging, and Moto just drives around the outside. A brilliant move to take P2 of Jaikumar Patil. Go back to Azim Banatwala and Aradhya Gupta, who have been battling for quite a while. I think Aradhya had made his move past Azim at some time. I'll try to see if I can find the replay for that. But right now it looks like tables have turned and Azim is trying to apply pressure on Aradhya Gupta this time around. And but it looks like Aradhya is slowly breaking away from this. Let's have a look how this overtake happened. Okay. On the main straight, Aradhya seems to have gotten a good run. He goes around the outside into turn 1, almost onto the white lines. And Azim takes the inside, goes a little wide, and this time Aradhya is able to get a switch back. Runs on the outside. Oh, and there's some contact into turn 2. And I'm not sure what happened with Azim over there, but yeah, that was some contact going through. Behind we have this 4-car train of Sulfi, Sai Kiran, Shiv Kiran, Abdul Mukeet running in close proximity with each other. And I believe there is another move happening up front, which is ABD and And Ritesh Singh, ABD is poking on the inside. Shiv Kiran has to slam on the brakes to avoid an imminent contact between ABD and has to avoid it. But Shiv Kiran now has to run. He's having a look on the inside. But I don't think it's happening right now. Or is it? He is still there. Salman Sulfi is now getting a good run on Shiv Kiran, so these guys are just stepping out each other. Salman Sulfi pokes on the inside. There's a little bit of contact, but thankfully nothing much happens. It's just contact. That's all it is, and we move on. But yeah, these guys are just stumbling over each other, and everyone is trying to make the best that they can. Salman Sulfi sends one. It looked like he was having his mind set on launching an attack from that far back, but good on him to back out, because it did not look like it was going to be happening from there. See, right on board Sulfi, you can see just the water spray being kicked up, nothing else. It's very difficult if you're the car that's following up close. It's very difficult to see what's in front with the spray that's being kicked up. See, the cars are bunching up into every single corner, every single braking zone, and you can also see the different racing line approaches that these drivers are taking to make sure that they don't fall victim to the wet line. And these four guys are just running in formation at this point, and it's literally a fight to get the P11. So yeah, every position counts, and these guys are wobbling over all that they can. You can just see the differences. It's just the cars are taking much different lines. Some guys are going on the outside, some guys are going on the inside. See, Salman Sulfi looks to be much more racier, looks like have more control over the line, but just not happening. And he sees an opening. Will he send it? But it cannot be. Shiv Kiran is just shutting that door on his face, so he's just gonna have to settle for now. Ahead we have a battle between ABD and oh wait, I believe that's ABD and Ritesh going side by side through the infield section. ABD sends one down the inside. Will he get the car stopped and time? That's question. It's almost a block pass, but Ritesh is just there on the outside, and Shiv Kiran is sneaking on this entire mess, and he takes the position away from Ritesh Singh. So that's some very good opportunistic racing through there. It's a brilliant racing, and I believe Salman Sulfi is off the picture. I'm not sure what happened to him. He's fallen off this pack, so I believe he must have had a bit of a outing in the final corner. But yeah, Ritesh loses 2 positions in a matter of 2 corners. So yeah, interesting sequence of racing. Replay, ABD sends on the inside, and that's enough for Ritesh to go on the outside, and it's just barely enough to upset the lines, which means that ABD is going to have a good run onto the inside line, and Ritesh also doesn't help by going slightly over the curbs. Sends on the inside, blocks the apex. Oh, and Sulfi has lost it on the throttle, which is very easy to do when you're squeezing the throttle down. So that explains why he lost his car and was out of this 4-car battle, which turned into a 3-car battle at this point. And that is how Ritesh just lost 2 positions in a sequence of 2 corners. So it's now Shiv Kiran chasing after ABD, trying to get 1 more place off of this and move up. And I believe up ahead we have... I'm not sure what happened. I think there's a position swap between Sandeep and Azim Banatala. I believe there was no overtake happening there. Maybe there was overtake happening there. Let's see. Okay, looks like Azim had a bad run through the final corner, and Sandeep seems to have a good run. So, was this a case of differing lines through turn 1? Sandeep tucks in the slipstream, goes on the outside, and both of them break side by side into turn 1. Azim takes the inside line, but he goes a little too stuck to the inside. Sandeep goes around, and yeah, momentarily he had an overtake, but just has to keep back the place now. So go back to the live picture right now. Sandeep is having a good run. He's going side by side into the infield section, coming up to the small hairpin through. He's on the outside line. Azim is holding that inside, and they're going side by side, and Azim shuts off that door on Sandeep. Sandeep was hoping that he can hold something on, but that was just not happening, and that means Samik-sen is now on the attack, goes around the outside of Sandeep. Sandeep fights hard and holds on to that inside line, and Samik is just going to have to stay back, but he is going to have a good run through the last corner, which means that he's going to have a good slipstream from 2 cars, and he can get that position done if he can get his throttle right. Looks like he's got that, but Sandeep has also got slipstream from Azim, which is also helping his cause. And we see that the cars are shuffling over, trying to defend their places. They're riding nip and tuck through turns 1 and 2. Sandeep is going slightly offline in search of more grip, but Samik-sen says, I will go around even more, and that's a contact, and Samik gets spun around. I'm not sure exactly what Samik was thinking there, because the track was just disappearing on the outside. So yeah, that's a really bad end to this battle. Oh, and Sandeep had made past Azim Banatwala in the one that chaos, so we're really missing a lot of stuff happening on circuit. Really sorry for that. So yeah, and up ahead Aradhya has also made his way past Arushakut, so good for him. Meanwhile, up in the lead of the race, the gap has been cut down from 20 seconds to 5 seconds, but then again, it's still a lot. We only got 7 minutes to go, so the P1 looks all but set right now, and Hardik is doing everything he can, but at this point, it's just bring it home and not putting it into the wall, because we've still got 3 more rounds in the championship, and anything can happen. So yeah, I believe it's time to settle down and bring it home in P2 for Hardik. Let's have a look at this move. Sandeep is just getting tagged from the behind, which means that he gets lost. Samik is spun out. And what happens here is, I believe Azim had outbroke himself into turn 4. Yep, he has outbroke himself into turn 4, goes on the outside, and Sandeep says thank you very much and takes that place of Azim. So Samik-sen has slotted in between ABD and Shivkiran. So that 4-car battle has once again been restored to its 4-car battle status. And Shivkiran is now going along Samik-sen, and looks to be getting the place easy over here right now. It's on the inside line. Samik is hanging around the outside, but it looks like a losing battle at this point. And Shivkiran takes that place and moves up to one more position to P11. And resumes chase on to ABD, who is doing a very good job hanging on at P10. And Shivkiran seems to be struggling through here. Like, I don't know if that's a line that he's choosing to take, or is it just some issues that's happening through. But in the middle of the corner, he's just going a little wide, which is opening himself up to attack from the cars behind. And I believe there's some yellow flags flashing. I'm not sure. I think that was Abid Hussain and Azim Banatwala. I'm not sure what happened. We'll try to get the replay of that while it comes up. This is Nick Phoenix. The final corner is catching drivers left, right, and center. So, yeah, that throttle application through there, it's very easy to throw yourself off. And that's exactly what just happened through for Nick Phoenix. Azim, who was coming through the infield section, he also had a yellow flag on the same. I'm not sure what happened. Did he just lose his car on the curbs over here? Well, in that case, I believe he might also have lost it on the final corner, because there's no other explanation. That's one of the most traction sensitive corners. It's very easy to lose your car through there. Oh, well, nothing happened through here. Must have been a false positive, I guess. Back to live pictures. Had an overtake from Salman, who had overtaken Abid Hussain to take up P14. Yeah, as it stands, the race looked to have settled down, and it's just people just trying to be calm, bring the cars back home safe. Just got under 3 minutes left, and up ahead we have Shiv Kiran and Ritesh Singh still going on. These guys are not thinking let's bring the car safe. These guys are thinking let's maximize the points. It looked a little too close for comfort. Thankfully nothing happened yet, but these guys are still going at it. Meanwhile, up front the gap has come down to 11 seconds, but again with just 2 more laps to go, I don't think that's going to be a huge issue for Kanak, who can comfortably cross this line. But in the lower ranks of the points, the battle is just not dying down yet. It's in fact just heating up. We have Shiv Kiran, Ritesh and Samik Sen going at each other for P11. ABD seems to have put the run, and he has put himself into a good distance up front into P10, and he's holding on to that. Shiv Kiran is hanging on to his dear life to P11, but Ritesh has a good run on the inside. And side by side onto turn 3, Shiv Kiran drives on the outside and holds on to the position, but for how long is the question, because Ritesh does look to have a good pace going on. And turn 4 has a peak on the inside but tucks behind, but Shiv Kiran still goes a little wide and opens up the attack from Ritesh, but just not happening at this point. On they go to turn 6, Samik Sen having a peak on the inside, and Ritesh going on the inside. Shiv Kiran again taking that very weird line where he opens up the middle of the corner. It's very inviting for the cars behind to just poke their nose and send one on the inside, but it's very dangerous and it could end up really badly on you. But Samik Sen drives on the outside, which turns into the inside line over here. Some brilliant racing going on in the lower reach to the points. And now Ritesh Singh once again has the inside line. Some brilliant wheel-to-wheel action going on. Squeezes Samik Sen onto the outside wall. Barely enough space offered. Just enough for him to get out without any kind of incidents or dirty contacts. Yeah, this battling is allowing Shiv Kiran to put a little bit of a gap between themselves. As you see, Ritesh goes a little wide, and Samik senses the opportunity, sends him down the inside. Could not get the car stopped, which means Ritesh is going to switch back and take that place away from Samik Sen. Some brilliant racing going on, and all of this has brought Kulfi, who spun out and lost, back into the action. So this 3-car train is staying a 3-car train no matter what. As we go to the final lap, 30 seconds left on the clock. The top 3 seems to have settled down. James Robin, Priyan Shoban, all running in their own little pockets of space. Just how to bring the car back home. Meanwhile, these guys are going hammer and tongs at it. Meanwhile, Shiv Kiran has decided to pit. I'm not sure whether he ran out of VE or was there any damage, but he had decided to go into the pits, and that is effectively going to drop him all the way back. I believe he might be losing a place to Afzan and maybe just come ahead of Nick Phoenix at this point. Well, Kanak is starting the final lap. He is on the back straight and just taking the victory lap. Just taking it easy, taking it slow, just making sure he doesn't lose out and do any unnecessary shenanigans and lose out on some good lot of points that he's got right now. Very comfortable place. most places look to be settled, except of course P11 and P12. I mean, maybe even P10, because these guys have caught up to ABD and they have just one more lap to catch up and do a swap to P10 if they can. But are they going to move together? Are they going to fight and give ABD that cushion? Which is going to be interesting to see. But I think Ritesh can just see ABD in the picture, and he's going to push as much as he can to close down the gap and maybe have a peek at it. But Samiksen is... I don't think Samiksen is going to make the job that much easier. Almost nose and tail into turn 1 and on to turn 2, getting a good line through there, and coming on to turn 3. The gap has shrunk a lot to ABD, so it does look like Ritesh is doing the right things and he's catching up. Some extent it's going down the inside. Ritesh is going down the outside of ABD and just having a little peek, but he's going on the outside, just getting thrown around a bit, and that invites Samik Sen to go around the outside. Just not happening there. Now he's gonna have a look on the inside into turn 6, but Ritesh just slams the door shut on his face. P1 and P2 across the line. I'm sorry, but this is much more interesting to say the least. And Samik Sen goes around the outside once again, trying to force a move onto the inside right now, and barges his way through. Says the P11 is mine, just let me through. But Ritesh is just not giving this up without a fight. But Samik just edges past and gets up front. Will Ritesh have a look on the inside? He's having a look, but Samik is defending it with all his life. And that's a very ugly end to the battle. That's some little spicy action going on. So we are on with Sandeep, who finishes P7. So yeah, Kanaksatam P1, Hardik Pari P2, Jekmar Patel P3, Priyan Shubhan comes in at P4, Aradik Gupta at P5, James Robin at P6, good recovery drive, Arav Shakunt in P7, Sandeep Peredu in P8, Azim in P9, ABD finishes a very valiant P10, Ritesh Singh P11, and we got Samik Sen coming in at P12, Salman Sulfi rounding off at P13, Abid Hussain coming around at P14. So that's it for the race. It's been quite a chaotic race, got to say, till the end. Not so chaotic up front. I do see that the lead gap had come down to 5 seconds, but then again, it was just never happening at the point. So that's the race. So a very interesting one, a very chaotic race to say the least. Alright, so we have Kanak Satam, who finishes with a very good lead, extends his lead in the championship in P1. Hardik Pari finishes in P2. Jekmar Patel wraps up the P3. Priyansh Oban comes in P4. Aradhya P5. James Robin, good drive, coming in at P6. Arash Shakwan P7. Sandeep Peredu P8. Azim comes in at P9. Ritesh Singh P10. We have ABD at P11, Samik Sen P12, Salman Sulfi in P13, Abid Hussain in P14, Shiv Kiran P15, Afzal in 16th, Nick Phoenix comes around in 17th, and Gaurav Varera, Aditya Vanmali, Nahit Pahuja, Nikhil Joji, Aditya Shashank, and Akbar Kumar just couldn't finish the race. They all DNF'd. That's a very chaotic race to say the least. So let's get drivers in and hear what they have to say about the race that they just had. I believe we have the top 3 in the session. Let's start with P3. Jekmar Patel. So talk us through the race, man. There was quite a lot of contacts, a lot of spins, and some good recovery. So just talk us through the race. What was it like?
It was great race. I I contact. I think Priyansh was there, and I misjudged the breaking point on lap one, and yeah, it's just I have to check what happened really. But yeah, let's see if I get penalty for that or not. But that was a great race. I enjoyed it.
Yep, it was indeed enjoyable for the viewers as well, I presume, because there was quite a lot of action going throughout the race. Just like it was very tricky to track what was going on. So yeah, congratulations on the podium, and hopefully the penalty doesn't deter you much. But anyway, that's the stewards for to discuss later on. But for now, enjoy the podium, and yeah, congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, moving on to P2 Moto. Well, I mean, I think you did your best, but what happened there? You had a drive-through as well. What just happened?
I mean, it's classic, isn't it? I had the pace. Like this one race, I actually put in some effort and practice, and because it's like I love this circuit, and in the wet, I was like, hoping for a good result. I had really good pace, man. Like, I think I was much faster than Kanak towards the end, but yeah, it is what it is. Just got to drive through. I actually got very unlucky in the pit exit. There's a car right in front of me not on the pit exit. Just after my stop was done, there was a car just getting like heading into his pit box, and he was like at an angle. So I had nowhere to go, and I don't know. I just had a bozo moment. I just disengaged the pit limiter for God knows what reason. Sped up to
Oh,
like
God.
63. Yeah, and it wasn't even on the entry, which is even worse. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but like, yeah, one chance I had to easily win, and yeah, classic fashion. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun driving. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, we did notice that the second stint, the gap was slowly coming down. I mean, it's just a case of what could have been if not for the DT. But yeah, I guess that's another chapter for you and pit lane incidents. It keeps
Yep.
going. But anyway, that's still a good result to come back after DT in P2. That's still a great result. So congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, moving on to P1. I believe it's high time to put some ballast on this guy because he's just running away with what was happening up front. So yeah, Kanak, I believe it was a very smooth sailing for you. We didn't even go on board you. So just say what happened. How was it from far up the road? How was the view?
Yeah, this was a very difficult race, especially the wet. When the second stint, it was very difficult for me to get any traction. It was literally a boat floating around in there, barely, staying straight. But yeah, luckily Moto got that drive through, and I just had to just go to the end. Yeah, nothing much for me.
All right. I mean, it did look like a nothing much race for you other than you having to survive. But again, not taking from you anyway, it's still a good pace and having to control the car. We did see a lot of Corvettes struggling to, keep the traction going on. So, yeah, fair play, good result. And once again, good going on the championship. So let's see if anyone rises up to challenge. I think Moto is the only one that's realistically there. But let's see. Let's hope Moto doesn't get any more pit lane incidents. But yeah,
That's actually down.
all jokes aside, that was a brilliant race. Thanks to everyone for showing up, and thanks to all your audience for tuning in and checking out the race. And yeah, this was round 7 of our 10-round calendar. We still have 3 more rounds coming our way, all happening at Monday 9 p.m. And we do have some other racing series in the pipeline. And last but not least, a huge thanks to our sponsors RaceSims for sponsoring the infra and the prize pool for this tournament. So a huge thanks to our partners. Do check out racesims.in and use coupon code IRC for some good discounts on their sim rigs and their Conspit products. So do check them out. If you do want to take part in the action, head over to indianracing.co.in and join our Discord. Get in on the action, get in on all the pit lane jokes. You will definitely not want to miss it. So it's on that note, it's me, Deepak Raj, signing off for the night. Have a good week